Hello, I am Dr. Marvette Lacy. I work with doctoral students to finish their dissertations in 12 months or less so they can start their simple consulting business. And if I had to say that a different way, I would just say I help really smart people finish their dissertations. That is the simple be all. Why do I do this? How did I get into this work? If you don't know, I went to the University of Georgia. I graduated from the Student Affairs Administration program, and I was probably like many of you, going through the doc program, feeling like I was making good progress. I wasn't trying to stress myself out, even though it was real stressful. And I got to the point in the fall of 2016 that I had finished my proposal. I got over that hump of the literature review, the dark sunken space of the literature review. I got through that. Are you through it? That's my question for you. But if you're coming in and say hi, let me know what's going on with you today. But yeah, I got over the hump and I defended my proposal. And so I was just looking forward to Thanksgiving break. I was looking forward to the end of the semester, and that 2017 was going to be the year that I completely finished my dissertation. However, my chair sent me an email and said, no, you don't have the whole 2017 to finish. You will be graduating in May. So whatever you have to do, you got to figure that out. Well, if we're at the end of the year, I'm like, the year is a wash. I can't do anything. I still need to submit IRB. So I do submit IRB. I got approval on around January 1st or 2nd of 2017. And then I turned in a completed dissertation to my chair on March 6th of 2017. So if you're doing your math, I did my entire dissertation in 2 months. And so that is where the birth of this business became, because I was like, this shouldn't be this hard. When I figure it out, I'm going to tell as many people as possible. And I have spent the past 8 years telling as many people as possible how to do that. And I have the goal of having 100 people become doctor. And I think we're real close right now. We are collecting stories because I think we might have hit the goal. So if you have been impacted by us, please let us know your story. But I started this business as a doc student. I started dissertation coaching in the middle of my 2-month dissertation. Now you might be like, what now, girl? And that's where the title of today's conversation comes from. Because when my chair sent me that email of, girl, you got 2 months, figure it out, it forced me to figure out a process of how I was going to go from IRB to an entire defended dissertation in 2 months or 3 months, because to add the defense date in there. How was I going to do that? I had to come up with something. And that was the place where I was like, oh, I figured this out. Let me go tell other people. And with the motivation or the support of a coach, she told me to tell people the same thing. So here I am. But let me talk about how people normally come to me. Usually, what are their issues? The issues is that, number one, you're reading all of the things. You're reading all of the things that the people told you. You're reading all of the literature, but you can't figure out how to translate the literature into written pages, right? I hear it all the time that people are like, I know all the things, but I can't figure out how to take my notes from what I'm reading and put it on the page. And so what that ends up doing is you end up doing more reading, and you get further down this road of how do I translate? And maybe you do put words on a page. Maybe somehow you figure out how to start writing, but you turn it in and your chair tells you you're summarizing, you're not synthesizing. And so that's usually a big reason why people reach out to me, because they can't figure out how to synthesize what they're reading. That's number one. Number two, you're having a hard time seeing eye to eye with your chair. So there's something that's stopping you all from being on the same page. It could be maybe they don't understand your topic. Maybe they don't understand your approach. Maybe they keep telling you your emotions are too tied in your topic. You're being too personal. You're being too subjective. Or maybe they're very supportive, but they're just not aware of your content area. So they're like, go get them. They're your biggest cheerleader, but they don't know how to tell you to proceed because they're out of their league in terms of the topic. The third reason why people, and this is probably the most important, the third reason why people come to work with me is because you're entirely burnt out. You're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're overworked, and you don't really know why you're still doing this process, but you put too much time into it. You put too much money into it. And it's like, why would I get this close only to quit? And that's how I was feeling after that email came from my chair about, I need to do this in 2 months. I was like, girl, I'm already burnt out, kind of tired. I just got over the hump of the proposal defense, and now you're telling me I got to do all of this in 2 months? How? But like many of you, I was like, well, I'm not going to quit because I'm here, but like, I still don't know how I'm supposed to do this. If you can relate to any of this, let me know. You put a 1 in the chat. I want to talk to you. Now, those are like the problems that people come and they tell me verbally. I'm going to tell you what I hear. That's what you tell me. You tell me that you're reading all the things and you can't write your literature review, or you can't see eye to eye with your chair because y'all are just not on the same page, or you're burnt out, you're tired, you're ready to quit. That's what you tell me. What I hear is, I want to prove myself. I want to prove that I could do it. I want to prove to my chair. I want to prove to all those people in my program that I belong here, that I'm just as smart as them, that I know what I'm doing. And you think, oh, you don't think you're doing this. You just think you're trying to finish the process. What I hear is like, no, you want those people to say, oh, we had you wrong. We did you wrong and we're so sorry. And we're going to do better. They're not. Okay, they're not. But that's what we keep striving for because that's what we've been taught to do. We've been taught to prove ourselves to those who we think are in power. Our faculty, our teachers, whatnot. Other people in the program who we perceive to be ahead of us. You're working really hard. You keep second guessing yourself. You keep second guessing what you need to put on a page. The reason why you keep reading so much is because you want to make sure that you have it right. You want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. So when you go to write, nobody's going to be able to tell you nothing about what you wrote because you know you did it 100% the correct way according to the literature. That's the first thing I hear. The second thing is you're using work as a coping mechanism. You're using the dissertation and all the other side 50-11 projects you have going on. You're using it as a coping mechanism. And I get it. I'm not judging you because I do the same thing. I'm explaining to you what's really happening. Because you think that when you finish the dissertation, you think when you get to graduation that everything's going to be so great. You're going to have the weight lifted off of your shoulders, that you're going to be able to breathe and sleep and get your life back. But here's the thing. You're not being honest. You're not being honest about who you really are, how you really operate. You, my friend, you always have things going on. You're always going after a huge goal. You're always going after a big project. Why do you think that because you're going to get to the end of this doctoral process that you're not going to have another goal waiting for you? And if you're likely in my world, your next thing that's waiting for you is you really want to have a business. You want to either be a speaker, you want to write books, you want to consult, you want to do something for yourself because you're over it. That's why I started with my story at the beginning of this, because I want to show you I'm just like you. Literally. I created a program for people like us. But you have to first see that you use work as a coping mechanism. Because when you can be honest about that and you can see that, then we can start making different decisions. So that's the second thing. The third thing is trauma, oppression, socialization has taught you not to care for yourself. Your environment from the time that you came into this world until now keeps reinforcing to you that to stop and slow down to take care of yourself is a waste. It's not what you should do. Yeah, I'm sure people tell you all the time, take care of yourself now. But do they ever tell you how to do that? And so I started thinking, if you can't tangibly tell me how to do that step by step of how to take care of myself, then you're just lying to me. You're just giving lip service. It sounds good, rolling off the tongue to tell someone to take care of themselves. But if you are not modeling that for me, if you can't teach me how to do it, then that gives me the message I'm not supposed to do it. And so I want you to think about how you show up, how you've been showing up in this process, how you show up in life. How do you, and you can put it in a chat or you can write it down wherever you are, because I can't see you, right? But how do you, in a typical week, how do you take care of yourself? What are the things that you could point to say, this is an example of me taking care of myself? It's a great experiment, because I bet a lot of you are going to have a hard time answering that question. How do you literally take care of yourself? So those are the problems. Let me repeat. People usually come to me because they're having a hard time translating what they're reading into written words, or they're having a hard time writing consistently. They're having a hard time being on the same page with their chair, getting their topic approved, or having a conversation about the research, and burnt out, tired, and ready to give up. What I hear is that you're working overtime to prove yourself because you're seeking validation and to be seen and to be heard. You're using work as a coping mechanism, and you don't know how to take care of yourself. I created the Institute to teach you how to solve all those things. Number one, the first thing I teach you when you come inside the Institute is how to take care of yourself. We start there. Because I know that the world keeps repeating and keeps reinforcing that it's not important for you to take care of yourself. That's where we begin. And I teach you something called the Scholar Basics. If you've been following me for a while, then you should be able to say this verbatim with me. The Scholar Basics, 5 things we do each and every day. Number 1, drink 64 ounces of water. Go find you some water. Drink some water. You're dehydrated. Go drink water. Number 2, lay down somewhere. Lay down for at least 7 hours a day, a night. I don't know when you sleep, but whenever you sleep or you think you're going to sleep, just go lay down. If you sleep, it's great. If not, you're laying down. Number 3, journaling out your thoughts. Your brain needs to be cleaned up and cleared out every day, and you need a process to be able to do that. When you rage on the page, which is what I teach, rage on the page, you give your brain space to be able to take in all the information you're reading and all the conversations you're having, so you can have the capacity, the brain capacity, to put words on the page. Moving your body for 10 minutes a day is number 4, because you need to be able to process. You need to be able to let the emotions work through. And we do a lot of sitting and staring at screens all day. We need to move. Our bodies are meant to move. And then the 5th Scholar Basic is write a shitty paragraph. A shitty paragraph is just a collection of 4 sentences you put together and you called it a paragraph. This is to help you to get into a writing practice. People tell you to write every day, right? But they don't tell you how. You write a shitty paragraph. That is how you get into the habit of writing every day. And that is also how you get into the habit of learning to trust your voice. Synthesizing over summarizing comes down to, do you trust your voice? Can you open up a document, get a sheet of paper, and can you start writing without second guessing what you're writing? That's when you stop second guessing, you are trusting yourself. So that's the first thing you will learn inside the Institute. How do you implement the Scholar Basics? How are you doing with that? You're going to hear other people talk about how they care for themselves every day, because it don't matter. Nothing else matters if you are not here, if you are not taken care of, if you are not well. Who cares that you're a doctor? Who cares that you have this job? Who cares that you make a certain amount of money if you're not well? So that's the first thing. The second thing you will learn when you come into the Institute is how to have a better relationship with your chair. Your chair takes their cue from you. And for other people, if you like this language better, I teach you how to manage up. I teach you, Jerry Maguire style, how to help your chair help you. Because you're looking at this person and you're supposed to be all-knowing. You're supposed to tell me exactly what to do. But your chair cannot be everything to you. Your chair is overworked themselves. Your chair is burnt out, most likely, themselves. They got 11 billion things they have to do, plus all the extra things nobody told them about. They got real-world problems. They got a life. They got relationships. And then here you come, being like, yeah, I know you told me to do that thing last week, but I didn't do it. But now I'm back because I need help. Right? They don't got it. So how do you help them help you? The first thing you learn is the scholar planning routine. We do this every Sunday as a group. Every Sunday, we sit down and we say, what worked last week? What didn't work last week? What do we need to do to move forward? And then we make a plan for the next 7 days. We're like, what am I going to focus on this week? And because you are clear on exactly what it is that you're going to do, then the third thing you learn is a chair communication plan. I ask you to meet with your chair at least once a month, because that weekly plan is going to lead you to having words on the page. And you're going to show up to your chair with those words on the page. You're going to say, hey, this is what I've been working on. This is what I got. This is where I got stuck. This is what I need your help on. And then you're going to let them do their jobs. Most of you are not letting your chairs do their jobs because you're sending your papers to your friends, to your mentors, but you're not letting your chair do their job. So that's what we work with. And then the third thing you will learn is how to improve the relationship with yourself, right? Because at this point, you got a baseline with the Scholar Basics. You know what you're doing every week. You have a better relationship with your chair. And then this fourth thing is going to be how to have a better relationship with yourself. And we go through a process called scholar stories. It is a way to show you that up to this point, you think that you're supposed to just work. What you're not realizing is that by you becoming a doctor, you're an expert. Meaning people are going to come to you and ask for your expert level opinion in terms of what they should do to solve their problems. Meaning you are going to get paid. You're going to get recognition for how you think. And that requires you to shift your identity, because you most likely up to this point have been taught that your identity, your value, your worth is tied to how much you do, how much you produce, how much you work. But by being a doctor, you are no longer valued by what you do and produce. You are valued by how you think. It's your thinking, it's your knowledge, it's your study, it's the fact that you can synthesize all this research and tell us what to do. It's the reason why people are going to come to you, and that is what you're going to get paid for. But that transition, you think it's going to be easy. Like you over here dreaming, like I'm going to be on stages, like people going to come work with me, but you have to shift your identity. You have to see yourself as someone whose thoughts, the way you see the world, the way you communicate is very valuable. But remember what I said earlier, you have been in a world where people have been constantly telling you, no, we don't care how you think. We think we see the way you think and approach the world is all wrong. Everywhere you've been looking, for the most part, you probably got that's wrong. And now all of a sudden, overnight, because you have letters, people are like, actually, no, we like how you think. And that is a mind fuck. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. And who is there to teach you how to do that? So that is why if you come inside the Institute, what you're going to see, especially for the month of February, because our theme for February is Dare to be Powerful. And I have challenged the group to play full out. What would it look like if you played full out in your dissertation, at home, with yourself, and in business or in work? What would it look like to be a powerhouse? What would it look like to show up and really not hide how smart you are, not hide how ambitious you are, not hide how much you can do at the same time? Because the world tells you have to hide those things because other people can't keep up with you and other people's insecurities are projected onto you. Of course, they're not coming to you and saying I'm insecure. No, they're coming to you and they're saying things like, oh, is that how you did your literature review? No, that's not it. Oh, you got a typo on page 10. Yeah. Oh, the way you dress, we don't do that here. That's how they come to you. But they're intimidated by your level of intelligence, your level of ambition, and your level of execution. Now, you may think you're a hot mess, but friend, you are not. You are not. You probably need some processes. You probably need someone who speaks your language to say, hey, just do this, this, and this. But you have no problem working. You have no problem understanding. There's nothing wrong with you. And all of this leads to you being bored. I tell people all the time, you're bored. You're overworked. And you might be overwhelmed with the amount of things and people that are competing for your time and attention, but you are bored because what is really challenging you right now? I want everybody who is on a call right now or on this live right now and who's watching the replay, what is really challenging your intellect? What are you doing right now that you're like, I don't think I understand this concept? I'm not saying about managing your time. I'm not saying the actual doing of a thing. I'm asking you what challenges you, what is challenging you right now. And I'm willing to bet you're gonna have a hard time coming up with an answer. What is challenging you? The reason why I started my business in the middle of a 2-month dissertation is because even with that tight time constriction, it wasn't the dissertation that was the hard part. It was the peopling. It was the oh, they want me to say it this way, but I don't want to say it that way. That was what was hard. What wasn't hard was understanding Sister Circle methodology. It wasn't hard writing a literature review, understanding what goes in a literature review. It wasn't hard reading the articles. It wasn't hard. I could have written my whole dissertation without doing the actual research part because I knew exactly what was going to happen. Y'all know exactly what's going to happen. It's not hard. What's challenging you? I'm talking about me being in, what is that class? Physical Physics, yeah, is it physical? No. What's the last chemistry class? Whatever that is, that's how it's not in my memory. Now, that was hard, okay? I was like, we no longer are talking about numbers. We're talking about things that really don't exist. But theory, this is hard, right? I'm talking about that level of hard. What are you being challenged in that way? You most likely are not. But the reason why I teach the way that I do, hey, Julian, the reason why I teach the way I do inside the Institute, right? I teach you how to take care of yourself. I teach you how to have a better relationship with your chair. I teach you how to be consistent. And I teach you how to learn how to be someone who is valued for how they think. The reason why I do that is because I know y'all are my people. And you don't want to be like, you may want to be somebody faculty for the cloud. And I'm not going to judge you on that. Do it for the cloud, right? But you secretly want to have a business. Y'all hear me. If you listen to the podcast, Office Hours with Dr. Lacy, you hear me saying the intro. You secretly want to speak on stages and publish books, but you have to finish the dissertation first. But the way I'm teaching you in the Institute is preparing you to start your business. I'm preparing you to have the mindset, the identity, the tools, the know-how to start a business, like the foundation, so that when you come on over to my business program, you are already set to go. But some of you might be wondering, so I'm just going to tell you what I do. The reason why I go so hard for entrepreneurship, the reason why I do it, I help other people do it, is because number one, entrepreneurship provides you with different professional options. You don't have to just be a tenure track faculty. The way these positions are disappearing, the way that schools are like coveting their tenure track positions, it's scary out here. But when you can go into entrepreneurship, you get to create your own position. For the first, 3-4 years of my business, I was actively doing entrepreneurship and I was still doing research. I was publishing. You can go Google me. I was putting out work. I created my dream position. And then when I didn't want to do it no more, I just stopped doing it and went somewhere else. But I didn't have to get the permission of an organization or a job or corporate to do that. I created. So entrepreneurship gave me these options. Number two, entrepreneurship gave me more time to just be, to fucking mind my business, watch TV, drink my water, and be healed. Okay? It gave me the space. What people don't tell you to heal from this process, to heal from the doctoral experience, you need time, you need space, and you need money. Because I don't know how much trauma you have or like how your experience was, but mine was hard and I needed so much time. That meant that sometimes I wasn't able to show up to work. Think about that. You're going to tell your job, you're going to call them and be like, I know I'm supposed to teach these classes, but the way my healing is set up, I ain't going to be able to do it. Can you just call off? Can you take off at weeks and months at a time? Because for some of you, you're going to need that type of time to heal. Can you do that in a regular job? And then number 3, which is the reason that keeps me going, because y'all, no shade. I don't care about no research. I care about y'all. Let me say it again for the people in the back. I care nothing about the research, a dissertation. I care about you. I care about you. I care about you getting what you want in your dreams and your goals. And because I have this knowledge and I have a process, I want to teach it to you. So I show up so much on Instagram. So I give so much away for free. I want to help you. Okay? You in entrepreneurship, you can directly serve the people you want to help the most. Because if you're trying to go through somebody's school or somebody's organization, you got to help the people the way they tell you to help the people. But you know, like, I think about the people I want to help, the people from the hood. Like, I want to go where people are like, okay, let me back up because I'm about to get too excited. I go so hard for entrepreneurship because I'm like, I grew up where down the street was the cake lady. Around the corner was the candy, the grandma who sell candy at her house, right? You go get $1, you come back with a whole week full of stuff, okay? Right, I grew up with like that person over there. Now they didn't go to nobody's school, but they do taxes. That's my regular environment. It's where I grew up. That doesn't change because I went to somebody's fancy school and got a degree. I still see the world in the same way. And by no means am I like, yes, give in to capitalism. I am saying give in to commerce. I'm saying in the same way, if you grew up like I grew up, where you're trading like, listen, we ain't got it this week, Or the light bill about to get cut off, but if I come and I cut your grass for the next 2 months, would you give me the $50 I need to pay the light bill? That's where I come from. And I'm just like, why can't business be the same? Why can't we use our brilliance? Why can't we use our intelligence, what we got from these fancy schools, and help our communities, help the people who look like us, who come from where we come from? Why can't we do the same thing? That is what I'm teaching people how to do. Number one, if you're curious, you first need to create a product. And most of you have to unlearn what higher ed has taught you. When I say create a product, I'm saying find a person who has a problem that you can easily give them a solution to. Go back to your dissertation. Don't you have to identify population? Don't you have to identify a problem? Don't you write an entire discussion chapter or section about here's the solution? That is your business. My dissertation is the blueprint to my business. I am really good at building community, and I'm really good at helping people use community to heal. That was my dissertation. The people, the population, Black women. The problem, getting through their doctoral program. The solution, community. What do I have now? A community called the Institute, where I help mostly Black women solve the problem of finishing their dissertation. You see what I did there? Look at your research. What is your research covering? It's the blueprint to your business. So then all you need to do, you don't have to start a community like me. Do something very simple, right? I could have easily been like, here is the process, the 12-month process in a 30-page document. Here's a 12-month process to finishing your dissertation. I'm actually working on this. So if you want this, it's coming. But here's a 30-page document of how to do it in 12 months. And I can pick a place. You gotta go find the people. Where are the people hanging out? Y'all hang out here on Instagram and TikTok mostly. I just show up and I'm like, hey, this is what my 30-page document is gonna help you finish the dissertation. Would you like it? It's $25. It's $50. Some people are gonna be like, nah, I'm good. But some people are gonna be like, yes. And that is the business. I just told you what a business plan is. That is as simple of a business plan as you're going to get. If you want more support about business and translating your research to business, I'm hosting a workshop called the Simple Business Workshop on Sunday, February 25th. Let me know. You can either put your email in the chat and I'll send you the information, or you can DM me and I'll send you the information. But to go back to our topic about you being bored, you're too bored to finish a dissertation, is because you have nothing, you don't have a creative or intellectual outlet. And you're trying to use your dissertation as the thing to help the people you care about the most. But what you don't realize is that higher ed, corporate America, are oppressive institutions. Their goal is to maintain oppressive systems. Their goal is not to serve the people you care most about. You have that goal. The system doesn't have that goal. So then how do you achieve your goal without it like hurting you and getting what you want? You need something that's going to challenge you. You need something that's going to help you see yourself as an expert that you already are, because there's nothing wrong with you. You're not behind. You need something to help you. And I argue building a simple business will do that, because a simple business in my brain is something you do in 10 hours or less a week. Y'all, I'm consistent. I teach you how to write a dissertation in 10 hours a week, and I teach you how to have a business in 10 hours a week. Why? Because we got other shit to do and other people to help, and we don't need to be spending all of our time and energy working for people who don't give two fucks about us. All right. Okay. I went too far, so let me go look at the comments. Candace, I don't know if you're still here, but I will check my DMs. I take care of myself with coffee breaks, brushing my teeth, and doing my hair. Yes. I love a good coffee. I'm going to give you some coffee after this. And I love that you can answer that question very clearly. You are challenging me now. That's what I do. There we go. Physical chemistry. I was like, P-Chem almost took me out. Listen, P-Chem, I was like, I don't need to teach the babies chemistry because it ain't worth it. For me, my topic takes an emotional toll. Once I write it, then it'll take me a couple of weeks to get back to it. Yes, that's going to be maybe that should be my conversation probably later on today if I have time, or tomorrow. We have to stop choosing dissertation topics that is just bringing out all our trauma. It's too hard because, you know, your homegirl over there, Sally, in your program, she don't have this extra layer of burden, which is why she's over there writing about something real basic and she's done. but we talk about that in the group. Maybe I'll come back and do that because I got you. Y'all want to hear me rant? That's something for me to rant about. I needed this 10 years ago when Instagram didn't exist. Yeah. Listen, me too. And Instagram technically existed when I was in my program, but it wasn't the Instagram it is today. All right, y'all. If y'all have questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to go get some lunch. So whether you have questions about your dissertation process, you want to come on live, I'll be happy to coach you. Honestly, like you want to get coaching, I am here. All you have to do is put a request. I think you swipe up a request or put your question in the chat. But I just want you to know that you're not too much. You're not too ambitious. There's nothing wrong with you. That's all I can say. There's nothing wrong with you. And I know that the world is telling you different, but there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. I'm not saying anything, so I'm going to go. I will talk to y'all later. Come join us inside the Institute. Join us inside the Simple Business Workshop. But I'll be back here probably tomorrow. Okay, y'all. Bye, y'all.